New episodes of the I Know You Didn't Ask podcast are out every Monday and Friday, available wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. Welcome to I Know You Didn't Ask. I'm your host, Megan O'Donnell, and you guys, I know I'm supposed to come out with episodes on certain days, but I don't even know why I keep lying to myself. I'm just gonna do what I do and hope for the best and put out episodes when I can, because your girl's booked and busy, and that's a good thing. And let's not forget the little phrase, progress over perfection. Very, very important. You guys, be sure to check me out on TikTok. I need to get 1,000 followers as soon as possible to do a really lame collab post. But I can't say yes to it until I get 1,000 followers. So if you're on TikTok, follow me at Megan the Podcaster. You guys, let's just jump right into what the hell's going on. The Lamar Odom documentary on Netflix is deeply bleak. It is called Untold, the death and life of Lamar Odom. He is still alive. How he's still alive, you find out in the documentary. But I gotta say, Khloé bared her soul in this documentary, and for that I am grateful. And I will say, Khloé Kardashian has been through the ringer. And watching this documentary and seeing her relationship that unfolded with Lamar, let's not forget they got married in 30 days and she was only 24 years old. I feel like I forgot that because I too was once a child, especially while watching Khloé and Lamar and keeping up with the Kardashians. So I forgot how young she was when she got wrapped up in all of his bullshit. And so it goes through his childhood, his entrance into the NBA, and throughout the entire documentary, we are seeing, his rise to fame, how he's doing so well playing on the Lakers and is with Kobe and Shaq. And like, you guys know I'm a big sports girl. Go sports. And you really see how he was like on the precipice of becoming a big kind of household name. He ends up meeting Khloé at a party. The two of them really hit it off. He had no idea who she was, and she had no idea who he was. And honestly, I feel like in the celebrity world, that's like the white whale of a person. You're like, wait, you don't know about me. You don't know the shit I've done, and I don't know the shit you've done. We're perfect for each other. So fast track their relationship to the altar. None of his family's at the wedding. No surprise. We have like old ass Robert Shapiro there. I'm like, what is he doing at Khloé and Lamar's wedding? But you see like the, crazy paparazzi flurries around their relationship, how they really, lived out loud, lived online, lived on television, and how it seems like Lammy kind of liked the limelight. He very much was pressing Khloé to do the reality show where it was just about the two of them. And so, in the whole documentary, you really see the relationship of theirs, blossom and then crumble. So he had a coke addiction. He said, once he started blowing rails, he couldn't stop, understandable. And he goes through all of the various types of addiction issues he was going through. They would put him into a rehab. He would check out. He'd go dark for days on end. He'd go dark for weeks on end. She'd find him smoking crack in the bathroom. Like, she goes hard on what she saw and what she didn't like. And for that, I am grateful because it's not like I needed this information, but it definitely painted her in a different light where now I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense why she has like kept Tristan along for all of this time frame. The guy should have been kicked to the curb years ago, but she's like, at least he's not overdosing in Nevada at a brothel. And that obviously is like the big crux of the documentary, talking about his time at the Love Hotel, I believe it was called, that he ended up overdosing. And in that overdose, he had 12 strokes and 6 heart attacks. You see that he then is, rushed to the hospital in Vegas. Everybody in the Kardashians go to support him. Then he's airlifted back to Los Angeles so he could be closer to home. And for 4 months, he was in the hospital. He was in a coma. He got out of the coma. He couldn't talk. He couldn't walk. He couldn't do anything. And Khloé was there every single day for him. And without Khloé Kardashian helping Lamar Odom, that motherfucker would have been dead. And I'm sorry, but the guy didn't have an ounce of grateful energy really towards her throughout the entire documentary. There was one moment he was like, I would probably wish I had the words to express myself back then to tell her how grateful I was, but didn't seem like he really, gave her flowers for what she did for him. So long story short, he gets out of the hospital. They put him in an apartment because at this point they had been split up. So she stops the divorce proceedings and she's like, let's see if we can try this again. Like, the guy woke up from a coma. He's starting fresh. Like, maybe he'll be, monogamous with me. Maybe he'll try to attempt to, maintain sobriety, which, mind you, they don't even talk about his sobriety in this documentary, which tells me he's not sober, but that's besides the point. And so he's in this house. She comes home after a long day of, I don't know, hanging out at Dash Boutique. And this was like somewhat early seasons of Kardashians too. And so there is a possibility she was at Dash. But she comes home. She said she walks to the door and she said, I smelled crack. She said there is nothing like the smell of smoking crack. And I wouldn't know. I just wouldn't know what it smells like. So I wouldn't be able to detect that on a partner. She said she goes upstairs. The guy's still basically not really even able to talk. He also told her he didn't have a phone, and she goes upstairs. He's smoking crack in the bedroom, has a phone that he's been contacting drug dealers with, and the guy can't be fixed. And she realizes after many years and many months, and dedicating her life to him for many months previously, she realizes that this man ain't shit. He's never going to change. She immediately divorces him. End of story. Wow, the documentary was truly bleak. Like, we stopped watching it and we both looked at each other and were like, wow, I'm glad my like minor issues like aren't like this. And addiction takes over your life. This is like not a new concept. We talk about it every week. Every week there's somebody in rehab, supposed to be going to rehab. Poor freaking little Nas X walking around the streets in his tiny whities and his cowboy boots at 4 a.m. in Los Angeles. Like, addiction is running rampant in society, especially during times of societal unrest. So it's not surprising that, a man in the spotlight like him would have an opportunity to, dabble in some drug addiction. And again, when you have access to all the drugs in the world, it makes it a lot easier. But yeah, the documentary was bleak as fuck. And they're like at the old brothel in Nevada where even like the owner of the brothel, like the manager who was working there when unfortunately he found Lamar like tweaked out and like half dead, he was like, quote, it's a hard day for brothels, when they were doing like all of the news interviews about what had happened to Lamar at the brothel. I also did find that the brothels also kind of have like an option to have extended stay. And Nancy Grace, the reporter, had like one moment in the documentary where you hear like a soundbite from her saying, I did not know you could have extended stay at a brothel. And you know what, Nancy? Neither did I. I did not know that was even a possibility. But at the time of his overdose, he had been there for 2 full days, just getting drugs, getting, I was going to say a hand job, but I feel like he might have been getting more. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he was getting more. But, oh my gosh, it's bleak as fuck. So definitely tune in. You guys, it's cold as fuck here in New Jersey. I'm wearing a goddamn sweater. I'm on YouTube and Spotify video if you want to watch me looking cute. You guys, I curled the hair. That's always big for me. I have to tell you, I was once a Dyson Airwrap girlie. Now, no more. Now I'm Shark Ninja. Yeah, you might have thought they only make fucking blenders, but they actually make the most insane, amazing curling iron I have ever purchased. And I actually didn't purchase it. I got it for free from a shoot. Shout out to Sarah. She's amazing. Not a plug, but just admiring how cute I am, admiring my luscious locks. And I will say, if you are anything like me and your hair cannot keep a fucking curl for the life of itself, try the Shark Ninja curling iron. And they gave me like a yassified version, like the like nozzle, I don't know. Like the main body of the hair tool that they gave me is covered in rhinestones. So yes, I'm fabulous. Yes, they must have thought I was like someone special to get like a very ornate looking, hair tool. But now I'm looking gorgeous. I'm a Shark Ninja head. And maybe someday they'll, want to hire me. Maybe they'll want me to represent Shark Ninja. Honestly, I think that could be an amazing collab. So as you guys know, there were 2 weekends of Coachella. There was the Masters, and I mean, who's watching golf these days? don't forget, as my loyal listeners, that I was the captain of my golf team in high school. I believe, the MVP for 1 year, so that was really huge for me. But I have to just quickly talk about one little thing that I saw that really sparked my interest. So during the Masters, I could care less about golf, Rory McIlroy, whatever, yada yada. Don't care who wins. There have been a lot of influencers making haul videos of what they picked up from the pro shops and the gift shops at the Masters. And I found myself falling in love with a little gnome. They have this little gnome at the Masters, and they only sell it at the Masters for $49 to $59. And it's this little cute garden gnome, 13.5-inch bearded statue. And it's dressed in a cute little Masters outfit. And now it's like a deeply sought after collectible. And I don't know about you, but again, my priorities are off. They are off these days. And I have found myself knee deep on eBay looking for a Masters inspired garden gnome. I don't even have a garden, but I'll find some place to put this adorable little bearded gnome. I don't know. I think it's incredibly cute. People are now waiting hours online for this little gnome. And I have to say, influencers are going everywhere that they're not supposed to be. Like, these bitches don't know a 9-iron from a pitching wedge. To go to the Masters and not watch golf and really just spend time at the pro shop and buying decorative gnomes is kind of chic. I think it's really cool. Everyone, of course, was in there like Wilson skirts. But if it were me, I'd be head to toe Lacoste. If I were to ever go back to high school and really train harder. I did have obviously like a Guinea, Long Island, old tanned guy who was my golf coach named Vito. Duh. And if I just spent a little bit more time with Vito, I probably could have been a professional golfer. I was actually quite good. And I would have been head to toe Lacoste. That's exactly, the type of style direction I would have gone for my sponsorships. But I did get a little bit of FOMO watching like chic, girlies at the Masters. Again, don't care to watch the sport. I find golf painfully boring to watch on television, but I like to be in like a chic environment. I do think that, the Masters needs to find a signature cocktail. When you go to the US Open, you get a honeydew. But when you go to the Masters, I don't even know what signature cocktail I can get. So that's something that they would really need to work on prior to, me coming. Next year when I get my invitation in the mail, I'm going to say, what's on the menu? Because I need to be aware in advance. Because if I'm not drinking a $22 signature cocktail upon arrival, I will be deeply upset. But you know what? I guess everybody has their thing. The Masters has a gnome. The US Open has a honeydews. And yes, I guess they both have sports too, but let's be real. I'm not there for the sports. Okay, you guys, Coachella happened this weekend. If you know me, you know I don't do music festivals. I don't do dust. I don't do big crowds. I do not like feeling like I cannot leave. I hate stampede energy. After watching Travis Scott's documentary a couple years ago about his terrible performance where multiple kids died, I believe a teenager died because of like a psychotic stampede, like I am done. And honestly, the only way you're going to get me out to the Indio Valley in California is if Nicole Scherzinger is singing the full Sunset Boulevard soundtrack. I need full album start to finish, and she better be wearing that black fucking silk dress. That is what will get me to go to Coachella next year. But again, Coachella is theoretically for the music, but I feel like at this point, people have made it more of a influencer fashion show, and I mean, this year was particularly embarrassing for the outfits. I mean, what are we doing? I can't pinpoint what the style is that we're going for. Are we going for a country themed? Are we going for, Burning Man light? Like, I'm just not getting it. And again, in terms of fashion, I don't mean to be the authority. I don't mean to tell you I would be head to toe in Lacoste if I was at the Masters. But if I was going to be going to Coachella, I'd be leaning into Kate Moss at Glastonbury. And if you don't know the images, then where the fuck were you in 2004? Why was I 10 years old idolizing a heroin addict? I don't know. Again, where were my parents? God only knows. But way back when I went to Panorama Festival in New York City or Gov Ball, I don't know, one of them, I knew that rain was going to be on the horizon. So I did wear my navy blue wellies in honor of Kate, obviously. And in the photos of her at Glastonbury, she was also wearing like a very short mini dress. So I said, the only short mini dress that is appropriate today is a white, airy Abercrombie little dress that naturally got completely ruined, covered in mud, hot, wet mud all day long because I was leaning too deep into my Kate Moss cosplay. And I didn't really realize that music festivals are a bit more function over fashion, you know? But I was young. I was living my best life. But I haven't made my way to Coachella, and I don't think I'm gonna. The main headliners this year were Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, and Karol G. None of those three wet my whistle. I mean, if I was there for free, I would have a great time. But again, none of them are really doing much for moi. And it's the same lineup 2 weeks in a row. And I feel like the first weekend really gets the big bang. Like you really get the big social media push. Who's going to the second weekend? I don't know. But we'll talk about who was there, who wasn't there. And some of the headliners, I mean, Bieber played music from his laptop, so edgy. I mean, he didn't look strung out, so that's a huge win for Justin Bieber. Hailey was there. I saw Baby Jack Blues in the artists section. So it seems like it was good. But I'm sorry, but who listens to Justin Bieber's music? I don't know. Like, when I think of Justin Bieber, I just think of like, baby, baby, baby. Like, but I feel like who's as an artist is like still dying to play that. It's not like Radiohead where they're like, I guess I'll play Creep again. Like he's like, let me sing this song I wrote when I was 13 under the tutelage of P. Diddy. Like I just feel like I wouldn't be able to go back to like some of my biggest hits because it's like, remember when I hung out with Diddy when I was 11? Like all those memories like would inspire me to like never sing those songs again. People were also saying that the fans in his crowd, again, were like Travis Scott-esque. Like they were kind of getting a little too rowdy, which again is strange to me because I guess I just like don't assume people listen to Justin Bieber. I don't know. Like he has escaped music in my world and he's like exclusively a celebrity now, which like I think that's the worst thing a musician could ever hear. Like if Justin Bieber ever heard me just say that, he'd be deeply upset. I will not be posting a video of this online because God forbid he sees it. We don't need him like doing whatever scary things he does these days. And it is 420. If you celebrate, happy holidays. I wish I was celebrating right now, but I'm in podcasting doing my job. Okay, Sabrina Carpenter, I mean, she had some tea the first weekend. Supposedly, she took a pause between songs while she was sitting at the piano, and somebody did this loud, like, shrill, high-pitched sound. And Sabrina is like, is somebody out there yodeling? And then the person does it again. I'm not gonna do this sound because I'm not getting canceled like fucking Sabrina Carpenter. And then they kept doing it, and then she's like, oh, stop, like, I don't like that. Because it's, like, an alarming sound, and also, like, I don't know, like, I don't care where you're from, what sounds you're making, but if you're disruptive to a show or a performer, I find that completely obnoxious, and you are, you know, to be banned forever from Coachella if you're, you know, playing by the rules of Megan. But I guess the person in the audience didn't like that she said she didn't like it. She said, are you kidding me? That's my fucking culture. So I guess this woman is Arabic and was doing a zagruta, which is a traditional Arabic celebration sound. And to be honest with you, to now be saying Sabrina Carpenter doesn't support the Arabic community is ridiculous. Like, I don't think it's crazy for her to not know the origins of an Arabic celebration sound. Like, I don't think it's that fucking crazy. The girl's performing in front of 3 million people, it feels like, which also that's another thing. Like, when I talk about, like, leaving a music festival and, like, the stampede nature of it all, when you see the drone footage of all of the fans watching these performances, that just gives me hives, top to bottom, tip to taint. Like my whole body cannot support that many people in one place. Also in a desert. because shit gets dry there and you might run out of water. So I don't know. I'm not I'm not going to Coachella. You can't make me. No one's invited me. No one will ever invite me. And we will talk about influencers getting invited and disinvited very soon. She also brought out Madonna this past weekend, which, like, really fun. I fuck with Madonna. And I feel like Madonna has, like, figured out what she's doing with her new face and body. Like, I really feel like she's gotten to a good place. I heard the song this week that just came out. I don't know the name of it. I heard it on Andy Cohen's radio show. And I gotta say, Madonna is coming out with great music. And it's so funny because when I hear Madonna, I'm like, oh my God, she sounds just like Lady Gaga. It's actually like, wait, no. Gaga sounds like Madonna. But it was pretty iconic to see Sabrina and Madonna together. I bet like half the crowd was like, who the fuck is that? Like, they're like singing Like a Prayer, and these people are like, what song is this? Like, I'm deeply confused. I want to hear One Less Lonely Girl. Which, speaking of One Less Lonely Girl, Billie Eilish this past weekend came up during Bieber's set, and she was the girl that he spotlighted in the One Less Lonely Girl moment on stage. And Billie Eilish was giving, like, Taylor Swift at the Grammys, where she's like, me? Winning my 17th Grammy? Who would have ever thought? Like, she was, like, so shook by being brought up on stage. And I love Billie Eilish, so, like, she can do no wrong. And me actually comparing her to Taylor Swift is actually fucking criminal and rude. But besides the point. Which, by the way, you guys, I was saying I was going to take some phrases out of my vernacular and donate to charity, and that's besides the point was actually one of them. I took that out of the list because I thought I said it too much, but then after editing every episode for the last, million and 3 years, like, I say it constantly, so I can't really be donating to charity every time I say it. So at this point, the charity is over. I'll just give $50 to Tony's Kitchen in Montclair. Like, I'll just give you a hot 50 for the year. Like, we're even, right? I haven't said highfalutin in flow yet, like, just back there, it doesn't count, am I right? Okay, what the fuck am I talking about? Sorry, I mean, this might be a little bit perverse, but, like, to me, I wanted Madonna to kiss Sabrina Carpenter. Like, I know it's, like, not okay. Like, consent would have had to be, like, agreed upon beforehand, but what would have really made Sabrina Carpenter become a canonized pop star icon is if she, too, gave Madonna a little smooch. No tongue needed to be involved, but a Britney Spears, a Christina Aguilera. We need a little smooch on stage to get the people going. Again, I don't mean to, like, I don't be a sicko. Like, I'm sick. I'm a sick and twisted bitch. But I do think that could have been fun. Could have been fun for the internet. The internet would have been broken. Move out of the way, Kim Kardashian, when you bounce a champagne glass on your ass. Sabrina Carpenter's kissing Madonna. She's kissing grandma. Wait, speaking of Britney, you guys, we are so proud of Britney Spears for going to rehab. We spoke a couple weeks ago about how she had a DUI, and obviously that tipped us off to things may not be as good as we thought they were. But I'm glad she's getting help, and hopefully people around her are helping her and trying to protect her and care about her and watch out for her. And it's sad because I'm like, why can't people just watch Britney? It's like, she was on a conservatorship. That's all she was watched, because this is what happens when she's not watched. So God knows what the hell's going on there. But proud of you, sister. Proud of you, girlfriend. I hope that fucking leech of a sister, Jamie Lynn, doesn't ever go to rehab and visit you. Fuck her. And God knows Jamie Lynn is still living off Britney's payroll. Let's be real. But let's get back to Coachella. I'm getting worked up. I'm getting worked up. The Kardashians seem to be synonymous with Coachella at this point, like, kind of in the worst way possible. Again, like, is Coachella about the music? It used to be about, like, indie rock bands, like, getting in the desert and, like, shredding beats. Is shredding guitars? Shredding riffs. Yeah, it's usually about shredding riffs. The Jenner Kardashian clans were at Coachella, and Kendall Jenner was supposedly making out with Jacob Elordi, which I like. Two hot people should be kissing. I support that. Kim K was there with her boyfriend Lewis Hamilton. He's really hot too, and Northwest was there as well. And I don't know, but Northwest is so cool and so confident. I absolutely love her energy, and again, not in a creepy way. I just didn't expect I would be idolizing a 12-year-old. And I did see one video where she fanned out so hard on Love Island's Olandria, which is, like, obviously understandable. She's, like, a beautiful woman. But like, can you imagine being Olandria being like, oh my God, the most famous 12-year-old in the world, Northwest, knows who I am and like is freaking the fuck out to take a photo with me? A dream. A dream. Kylie and Timothy Chalamet were spotted together the first weekend. Didn't see Timmy second weekend. Trouble in paradise. I want to do a whole episode about Club Chalamet, like the deep, dark world of Club Chalamet. But again, there's only so many hours in the day. If my contract doesn't get renewed at the end of May, I literally have no choice but to podcast constantly. So you'll get Club Chalamet to the fucking dome. But Kylie and Timmy were there. They looked really happy. They were looking so cute. And like, honestly, people are so fucking mean. Like, you're at a music festival to like have fun with your friends, to listen to amazing music, to try funky food stands, whatever they have there. Clearly, like, again, I don't go. I'm like, I don't know. What do you do? Eat, jump, dance, sing? But people are just like filming poor Timothy Chalamet and posting the photos on Reddit being like, wow, he like has no interest in Kylie. I'm like, he's at a concert and she's 3 inches away from him. They don't need to be fucking sucking face for them to be in a happy relationship. Like, it's insane. Like, they're like, he's so corny. I'm like, why? He's swaying to music? Let the guy fucking live and let everybody live. Let them live. I should be saying this myself, but I don't know. Lay off Timothy. You know, he's just having fun. Like, he's white. He can't dance. Like, hello. Like, we all know this. But forever my last word. But actually, he can dance, because I don't know if you guys ever saw the videos of Timothy Chalamet dancing in high school. He's like dancing and rapping on a stage at some like childhood performance, and he's an incredible dancer, dancing to hip hop beats. And you know, he probably is kind of pissed that like Kim and Kanye didn't make it. He's like, fuck, I could have been hanging out with Kanye West. Now, like, no one does that. I mean, duh. So one of the biggest things that kind of came out of Coachella this past, you know, Coachella season was, you know, the influencer of it all. It was very much like, hey guys, I'm in the Hellman's mayo tent, and you cannot believe how this mayo doesn't curdle in 96-degree weather. Follow along for more. The branded activations at Coachella were deeply embarrassing, and, you know, what gets tricky and what is frustrating for like us normal people out there, like working to provide all day long. I sit on Zillow and think, how the fuck am I going to pay property tax on a house that's $24,000 a year in property taxes? For what? For schools? My kids won't need to read by the time they go to college. Like, what are we doing here? And so when you see like mid-tier bleak ass influencers getting paid $200,000 to come with Starbucks to Coachella for a weekend of partying, fun, drunken shenanigans, that, you know, grinds my gears a little bit. And I think that's one of the problems with these, you know, influencers out there, because people are like, well, there are people starving, Kim, and, you know, Bran Flakes, whoever that guy is, you know, he's getting lambasted because he went to Coachella with Starbucks. And it's hilarious because, you know, people who are like not reading the news, like, don't know about Starbucks's, you know, union busting issues. And they're like freaking out over these influencers who are agreeing to go on these brand trips with these brands that have questionable behaviors, have done nefarious things or whatever. But like, I don't think they fucking care, to be honest with you. They're going to make $200,000. They're like, yeah, I could take 2 weeks of bad press after, and then I can like go to Cartier and buy another hideous, godforsaken Cartier love bracelet. When will they get out of style? I remember being in high school in my uncle's office in their home in Connecticut, and I was in high school looking at the Cartier website, looking for Cartier love bracelets, and then like at the time you couldn't even see how much they cost, so you'd have to like inquire. I'm like 16 years old with $8 in my pocket, and I'm writing emails back and forth with the sales associate at Cartier, just wondering, just pricing out my options. I was like, can you please add the option where there are diamonds, just for reference? And I'm like, oh mom, it's only $9,000. Like, it doesn't seem that bad. And my mom is like, you're a moron. Become an influencer. Go to, you know, the Starbucks lounge at Coachella, and then maybe you could afford your own Cartier love bracelet. But people, yeah, are not happy that, one, they're, you know, going with these corporations that are evil. But, like, it's a job. You can't imagine the horrible things the CEO of the company you work for probably thinks and does. Like, not to say that like union busting is okay, but I think it's a little ridiculous when you like are asking these influencers to now be like, can you please stand up for the little people? They don't fucking care. They're making videos all day. Watch me eat a chicken Caesar salad wrap. Like, that's their job. They're not reading the Wall Street Journal. They don't know about this shit because they don't fucking need to. And it's sad. It's sad, the dumbification of America. But like, to expect these fucking influencers to, again, know every issue with every single company in the world is kind of ridiculous. I mean, $200,000 for brand flakes to go to fucking Coachella is pretty fucking steep, but I guess it's marketing. Here we are talking about Starbucks, and I bet his ass is gonna go and get a fucking ube coconut milk latte with the side of fucking espresso, add a shot, 2 pumps of syrup. The shit concoctions they're coming up at Starbucks these days are out of control. Who's ever in R&D at Starbucks, you need to take a beat. Sometimes less is more. I don't need 52 different types of refresher tea options. I need, an Arnold Palmer inspired. I need some sort of raspberry. And that's pretty much it. Maybe that's it. That's it. That's it. A black tea. We can get a black tea in there, a green tea, whatever. But like, we don't need to be going into mandarin, pomegranate, passion fruit, refresher with a side of coconut. Like, it's too much. It is too much. But I mean, these influencers are making money, and I ended up seeing some TikToks where people were like, Tabasco hot sauce invited me to go to Coachella, and then last minute they pulled out. Can you believe it? My life is ruined. And like, that's the shit I'm like, oh, I don't feel bad for you. And I don't feel bad for this brand flakes guy getting a lot of fucking shit for, taking $200,000 from Starbucks. Like, he's crying all the way to the bank, and the people who follow him don't give a fuck. And I know like cancel culture is real, but like, it's real for 5 minutes. Then people completely forget. Of course, if he was doing like truly heinous things, and like I don't know like what brand flakes and Starbucks would be doing that are like so bad together, but like unless he's doing like egregious bad actions, then I think it's like not exactly fair to blame him for taking branding opportunities. And I don't know, again, maybe I'm a spineless bitch. Maybe we talked about this at the Riyadh Comedy Festival. These people are getting paid like $400,000 to play one show in Saudi Arabia. And, we're all working for the man these days. And, our government's fucked up. Corporations are fucked up. Everything's fucked up. So I'd take the Starbucks money over the Riyadh money if it were up to me. But it's hard to like say to someone, oh, you really shouldn't have taken, that $200,000 fucking fun ass weekend because some people, are getting screwed by Starbucks Corporation. Starbucks Corporation is a $1 billion company. They obviously should take care of their employees, of course, but that doesn't mean like someone can't market for them. We all kind of have to work and make some money. So whatever. I mean, to each their own. I probably would take $200,000 to go party at Coachella. Again, Kate Moss inspired outfits. I'd need to be in the artist tent. And like, again, I'm not one of those people who would like carry around a portable fan. That is absolutely social suicide. It's just like not something you'll ever catch me doing. So don't ever think you will catch me with a portable fan. And if it sprays water, even worse. Even worse. You guys, there was some shit that came out about Katy Perry. Katy Perry and her boo thing, Justin Trudeau, with his backwards hat. I posted a funny picture on Instagram at Megan the Podcaster where he's like reminding me of that Steve Buscemi meme where he's like, how do you do, fellow kids, with his like backwards hat and a skateboard. Like, it felt like I was looking at like, I guess the two of them living their teenage dream. Oh my God. But again, aging out of Coachella, and like, not to age shame, but like, Katy, go home. You already went to space this year. Everybody hates you for a million different reasons. We don't need to see you two fucking, having fun at, who Carol G? I don't even know. But they were spotted together at Coachella, living their best life, which then ended up sparking Ruby Rose, an actor, to come out with some sexual assault allegations towards Katy Perry. Ruby Rose ended up accusing Katy Perry of sexual assault in a series of threads posts on Monday. I like how I go from like Starbucks to like sexual assault. I don't know what's happening today. But she basically said an alleged incident occurred at a nightclub in Melbourne, Australia, when she was in her 20s. Ruby proceeds to say, Katy Perry sexually assaulted me at Spice Market nightclub in Melbourne. She said she didn't kiss me. She saw me resting on my best friend's lap to avoid her and bent down, pulled her underwear to the side, and rubbed her disgusting vagina on my face until my eyes snapped open and I projectile vomited on her. Rose alleged, after I threw up on her, I told the story publicly but changed it to a funny little drunk story because I didn't know how to handle it. Later, she agreed to help me get my US visa, so I kept it a secret, but I did want to tell you she wasn't a good person. So I don't even know the mechanics of pulling. She bent down, pulled her underwear to the side, and rubbed her disgusting vagina on my face until my eyes snapped open and I projectile vomited on her. I can't even like visualize that, and I'm not really going to try too hard. But Katy Perry's always like giving like kind of like repressed Christian girl. Obviously, like the first song that she came out with that was super successful was like I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It, and everyone's like, yes, queen, LGBTQ. And like that's the definition of queer baiting, because she's like, no, I kiss girls and I like it, but don't worry, I only date white abusive men. But no, she did very much as like giving like church repressed girl, and then like is hypersexual in many different ways that like don't involve like, you know, P&V intercourse. And I feel like, yeah, just like rubbing your disgusting vagina on somebody's face like seems completely inappropriate. Nobody deserves to be untouched in any unwarranted way, but I will open up and let you guys know that Ruby Rose was definitely one of the first lesbians I was like, she is so incredibly hot. She was in Orange is the New Black, and I very much think she was a gateway for straight girls thinking other girls are hot. Like I recall during the golden era of Orange is the New Black, everyone was like, who's this hot les? And we were like, well, would I? Won't I? Like, she definitely opened up people's eyes. Again, not to say that Katy Perry should rub her disgusting vagina on her face, but, you know, she's a hot lady. Again, not meaning that that is asking for anything or is making her deserve. I'm just stating simply a fact that many people have girl crushes on Ruby Rose, and maybe Katy Perry did as well. But Katy Perry, girl, you can just sit at home with your mansion, you know, and your man and your kid and just like lay the fuck low. Like, you don't need to be out and about. You don't need to be going to nightclubs in Melbourne. Like, we're done. Nobody needs it. The rep for Katy Perry said the allegations being circulated on social media by Ruby Rose about Katy Perry are not only categorically false, they are dangerous, reckless lies. I don't know. Katy is losing her fans by the minute. I wonder what the Katy cats think about this. I mean, who knows? I mean, it doesn't sound like it's not true, right? Well, speaking of pop stars, Meghan Trainor canceled her 33 city tour. But like, are we surprised? She said she wants to focus on her family, which like always is the case. I mean, touring does seem like a bitch. Like, you see one touring documentary about a musician and you're like, oh God, what a drag. This sucks. So much fucking work, and you're traveling, and people think like, oh, traveling for work is so fun. But like when you really do it consistently, especially at the level that they're doing and you're performing at this level, like it takes a fucking toll out of you. But she canceled her tour. And I just don't think Meghan Trainor's really in a place in her career where she's like selling arenas. No offense, Meghan Trainor, but I think you need to be doing elevated theaters. If that. Like, I don't know. Again, she was one of those girlies that like lost all the weight on Ozempic, and everyone's like, jury's out on if I like her. And that must suck. You know, everybody has like body image issues, myself included. I practice body neutrality, but you know, some days it works, some days it doesn't. But, you know, you hate your body, you want to change, you get on this pill, then, or the shot, whatever, and, you know, you lose all this weight, you're so happy, you're finally feeling yourself, and your fans are like, oof, we like the old you. Like, I can imagine that's pretty fucking brutal. Thankfully, my weight is just teetering between 157 and 162. That's the sweet spot. I was trying to hit 150, but at this rate, again, I'm practicing body neutrality, and I just don't think it's happening. The tits are titting. The ass is assing. Like, everything else can be svelte and toned, but those two, pretty paramount for the body and for the weight. So if I get down to 150, I'll send one of you a gift card for $50. I'll send you a $50 Starbucks gift card if I get down to 150 pounds. Just kidding. I will never support Starbucks for another shitty, lukewarm chai latte in my life. But you guys, we have to talk about this week in podcasters who aren't talented but have huge followings and I'm incredibly jealous of, but I'm ultimately kind of not jealous of them because I actually have a really great life and I actually also have the natural gift of gab and I can podcast for an hour by myself and these fucking losers can't. But anyways, the deeply popular Alex Cooper and Alix Earle are fighting. The most boring girlies are fighting. And we've been talking about these two having a fallout over a podcast. Alex Cooper started a podcast network, the Unwell Network, which, like, why do you... We're all unwell. Why make that your brand? But I guess she went from, like, you know, hypersexualizing herself into, like, being mentally unwell, which is oftentimes the trajectory of a hoe, but I don't judge. I support all hoes in every way, shape, and form, but she had the podcast network. Alix Earle brought her podcast to her show, and the two of them didn't really last too long recording, you know, with one another. What I really want is an Alex Cooper and Alix Earle version of Celebrity Deathmatch. Like, I want to see a claymation version of the two of them fighting. Like, I think it could kind of be artistic. I think it could be kind of fun. The show hasn't been out for like 23 years, but I do feel like we can get the gang back together, make some claymation versions of two scrawny blonde girls with big fake tits, and I feel like there would be views. We'd have eyes on the content on YouTube. Alex, if you're listening, either Alex, Alex or Alex, if you're listening, I think it's a really great idea. So maybe take some of those millions that you have and put it towards this brilliant idea that I have. So there's been a lot of tea, there's actually no fucking tea. We don't know anything. So that's why this is incredibly boring. But there had been, you know, little inklings here and there that there had been some drama between the Alixes. Alix Earle ended up leaving the podcast network. And we didn't really get much information as to why. And so obviously people online are speculating this, that, and the other. And Alex Cooper ended up sharing a TikTok on Monday saying she was questioning why Alix Earle was insinuating that there was some drama between them, saying, you guys know I usually don't address this kind of stuff because it feels like a waste of time. And honestly, it's embarrassing to participate in this. Okay, if it's so embarrassing, then don't fucking make the video. And then she basically is kind of saying, like, say it. Okay, like, Alix Earle, like, if you have a problem with me, just say it. Just say it. Just say it. I don't know, Alex Cooper, if I were you with the big dick to put on the table, I would just say what the fucking drama is. Say what the tea is. Basically, it seems like, you know, they split up from the podcast, and it seems like Alex Cooper, who is the executive producer and owner of this company, was really trying to push Alix into having, obviously, you know, fun conversations with people, sexy conversations, provocative conversations. One of the other girls on her network's Hallie Batchelder, which, like, girl, change that fucking last name. Batchelder, B-E... I get the spelling bee. B-E-T-C-H-E-L-D-E-R. Batchelder, so stupid. That's another girl on the podcast network with Alex Cooper, and, you know, she's super raunchy, all about getting drunk, all about partying, whatever. And so it seems like there was a bit of, like, a mix-up between Alix Earle not really wanting to go in that direction entirely, with, you know, Alix kind of pushing her to go in that direction. So that seems like kind of one of the content pieces that they were having a problem with. And then it seems like Alix Earle's dad's really involved. He's like the Kris Jenner of New Jersey. And he is a businessman, and he's highly invested and involved in Alix's career. So after a certain amount of time, it seems like there was some issues between their contract. And it seemed like Alix Earle wanted to get out of her contract early. And that Alex Cooper basically was like, hey, you have X amount of time on your contract, and that's just not how this works. Like, you can't break your contract without, you know, all of these other issues happening. It's a domino effect. People don't get paid, yada, yada, whatever the case may be. And so supposedly there is a brutal phone call with Alix's dad and Alix's team, Alex Cooper's team, where they're duking it out. Alex Cooper is basically screaming at Alix Earle's dad, saying, like, your daughter's a fucking nobody. She's going to be replaced in a minute. I could find another fucking girl with a microphone who would love to be in my network. Me. Just kidding. I don't like being policed by people. Thank you very much. But basically, the fight was like, she's a nobody. She could break her contract. Fuck her. But I own this show. I own the likeness to this show. I own the IP to this show, which is a very similar situation to what happened with Alix and Barstool all those years ago. And it seems like Alix Earle's dad was basically like, fuck you, we're getting out of the contract and you're not able to put anything out on this channel. Like, all of it has to be wiped out. Like, we're starting fresh. And I guess, that was possibly a bit of the drama there, which again, like, that's just business, baby. Like, it's not that fucking crazy. Honestly, Alex Cooper should get Alix Earle on the show. Get her on, call her daddy. Call Earle's daddy and see what's up. But, Alex Cooper really should call Alix Earle and just have her come on the pod and they could really spark it up. Let us know what happened. That would actually be amazing ratings and that would be great podcasting if you ask me. But Alix Earle hasn't even come out and said anything. Like, she made a comment like, oh, I'm gonna say something. But, like, hasn't, and then ended up, like, posting a video of herself, like, attempting to strip on a stripper pole. So what is it? Where's the drama? Give us something. And like, both of their PR teams are like, don't say anything, don't poke the bear, and there's a bit of like, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Alix took a chance on you and your podcast. But like, again, I say it time and time again. Not every bitch with a pulse needs a podcast. Again, myself included in certain ways, ways, shapes, or forms. Like the last 42 minutes of this show, I probably should just cut it now. But, it's kind of hard to podcast. It's hard to be consistent. It's hard to be engaging. It's hard to have your own episodes by yourself. It's hard to have guests. It's hard to schedule guests. It's hard. It's fucking work. And, there could have been just a world where Alix Earle was like, oh, fuck this. You're telling me I could post one image on Instagram and make a quarter of my annual salary at this fucking podcast studio? Fuck that. Like, why would she want to do the work? I don't know why people want to be heard so badly and have podcasts. Again, like, I'm desperate to be heard. I've wanted to be heard my whole fucking life. So that's why I'm here. That's why I've been podcasting for 10 years, people. But I don't know. I just want the real information behind what is going on. I want the truth, ladies. And I think I deserve that. As an absolute nobody who has just shit on them for the past 10 minutes, I want to either know the drama or I want it to stop coming out in the news as non-drama. It's pissing me off. And then this goddamn Brianna chicken fry. I'm sorry. Another just talentless woman with a fucking platform. Imagine you, like, your nickname is Chicken Fry, and she's an Italian girl, Brianna LaPaglia, and, like, it's a pretty name, but you're like, I want everyone to call me Brianna Chicken Fry, and she was a Barstool girl. I think she's still on Dave's podcast. I know they had a show together. I don't know, but, like, she was also very much involved with the entire Wes and Amanda thing. She was the one who tipped off Dave Portnoy that they had been, a couple as of the Super Bowl. So she very much like added to the timeline of the West and Amanda drama. But she also fucking inserted herself in here saying like, Alex Cooper is the biggest bully known to man. Like, is she? Like, or is she just a fucking businesswoman standing on business? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the truth is. Again, I don't know why I care so much about this truth, but, everybody's getting involved. Everyone wants a piece of the, call her daddy money. Everyone wants to be on the Unwell Network. You couldn't pay me to be on the Unwell Network or the fucking Bostics, Dear Media. Like, there is just like a certain type of person who's like a Barstool podcaster. There's a Dear Media podcaster. There's an Unwell podcaster. And then there's me on fucking Acast. Lonely bitch on Acast, spewing whatever comes out of her fucking brain, spewing whatever she wants. I like that. Don't try to fucking put me into a box. I'm nothing like Lauren Everett Bostic. I'm nothing like Alex Cooper. I am me. I am who I am. I don't need a fucking, corporate head who's telling me how to be. And that could have possibly been the thing, like I said, And then there was, a little political situation, which I don't know if that's the truth. Alex Cooper had Kamala Harris on her podcast prior to the elections. How did that go? Not too hot, but supposedly people were saying like Alix Earle and her family are Trumpers, so that was like another reason why, they wanted to get off the network because they didn't align with their political values. And Alex Cooper has been like a proud Democrat and liberal for a while now. So that could have been a little bit of drama. You guys, we're going to end the show with one little update about my girl, Brooks Nader. You guys know I love Thy Nader. I love Brooks Nader. Again, she's the hottest it girl with the worst fashion. I just love that about her. But her fucking loser ex-boyfriend, Gleb, Dancing with the Star Pro Gleb, was on, speak of the devil, Alex Cooper's YouTube show that has gone nowhere called Unwell Winter Games, which is basically like some outdoor competition show. And I watched about 3 minutes of it and had to turn it off almost instantly. But I was watching Gleb have a conversation with Dakota Mortensen, the guy who was with Taylor Frankie Paul on Mormon Wives, and now he's become famous via Dad Talk. But the two of them were talking, which like should tell you this is not going to be a good conversation. He basically was saying like, when I dated Brooks Nader, like it was really bad. She was probably the worst sex of my life. And you know what? I just think that's really cool because you can't be good at everything. You can't be the hottest girl in the group and also like know how to like just be a fucking dynamo in the sack. I think it's like disgusting for someone to like say this, but you know what? Hot girls can't be good at everything, and it was just a little bit of a reminder. But yeah, no, fuck that guy for saying that publicly. Like that shit's mean. And also, the more I think about it, like Brooks got married very young and also came from a very strict Christian family. So like she might have only, been with a few people. She might still be learning. Like she's young. It takes a while to figure out your groove. Am I right, ladies? Okay, I don't know what the fuck happened to me in this episode, but I actually had a darn good time. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. I'm going to be coming out with another episode sometime this week, whatever. Again, no dates. We're willy-nilly here. My husband actually told me Joe Rogan doesn't have his episodes come out on any day. They just come out whenever they want. So you know what? Fuck Alex Cooper. I'm taking a page out of Joe Rogan's book. Another deeply problematic podcaster. So thank you for listening. We have great topics coming up next week. We have a little bit of Bravo news, obviously updates on Kyle Cook and Megan King Edmonds. I don't know, you guys. Patrick Muldoon dead. Sierra's Glamour magazine article. Luke Gulbranson is running for Congress and the Democrats are mad. We have Ice Spice getting attacked in a McDonald's. Clavicular, possibly ODing. I need to do a little bit more research on that, but I want to have like a proper conversation about looks maxing and all of that, because I'm getting deeply into looks maxing, if you can't tell, with my curled hair. But thank you so much for listening to I Know You Didn't Ask. Please subscribe, rate, review, send a friend over to the show, have them listen. This one was particularly unhinged, which could be a good starter. It could be good because this will really level set who I am to your friends, and then they can be like, oh, I hope she scales back. And then like later episodes this week, like I'll be cool. Like I swear, like I'll be cool. I'll be chill. Don't worry. Thank you for listening. And if you have a moment, like, subscribe, rate, review, follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Megan the Podcaster. Catch you later. Bye. New episodes of the I Know You Didn't Ask podcast are out every Monday and Friday, available wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube.